Content over everything. Fighting, wavering and him trying this and that.
Hold on, if you win the fight, doesn't mean you're right. Not really, does it?
No, but you see the thing about it is though, right? Hear what I'm saying, right? It's a flat, it's a flat point.
Yeah, it doesn't mean more like intimidation, isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want to fight Mike Tyson tomorrow, what are you laughing? You said I can't beat him. You said I can't beat him. You said I can't beat him.
No, you can.
Hold on, I got
But it
belief.
doesn't make you right, does it?
I got belief, man. I got belief. Right? All I'm saying is, if the right people promote it, they'll make a lot of money. And that's what everything's about nowadays. That's what I'm saying. Because check it, hear what he said, right? He said he wanted to do 2 fights, yeah? No, not 2 fights.
You remember that though?
Oh, the 2 charities. One
Conor
for
McGregor.
one for Africans and one for Islam, yeah? And most of the people that are here are Afro-Caribbean or Asian. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Actually, I need to bring Raza first, you know. Wait. Let me come over here. Actually, I need to bring Raza first.
That's 2 databases.
Yeah, those who are
To be honest, you could get fucking Liam Gallagher.
Hang on a second, but we're talking about the first human being who came from Africa. Right? I don't know. Do you understand? That's why I'm asking this gentleman right here.
But you seem,
that's
to,
what
you seem
I
to have
think.
a strong opinion.
I do have a strong opinion because I think it's quite evident. It's quite evident to me.
Well, it's evident to you.
No,
that
the
only
first white man is
some
Cain.
people have done bad things. It's weird.
Are you actually trying to claim everything bad about humanity?
No.
Because
According to the
yeah,
Why would I say that?
no, I just
I'm
wondering.
just trying to understand what the mark of Cain is because there's never been any evidence. No one can conclude what it is. No one knows for certain. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if I'm just saying some stupid thing.
Oh, I see.
I'm just, I'm just trying to get to a
No, I think-
conclusion.
yeah.
And I know that you are a person of vast knowledge
No, not really.
on the Bible and stuff like that. That's what I think anyway.
Okay. Well,
Get me?
honestly, I don't think that your answer is correct.
No, you don't.
No.
Okay. Okay, so can you tell me what you think it is?
Yeah, I've told you. I've said, you
Has
know,
to do with
you
slavery?
see, language is very important.
Okay.
In the
However,
so-called
he
Bible.
did say I'm going to give you a curse.
That's it. You see.
Now, what is that curse? That's what I'm trying to understand
Look,
here.
this is how it works.
Yeah,
This
go
is
on.
how it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speak to me.
There's a huge field here, which is hard to go through because we speak in English. We're in an English context.
Yeah.
There's people here who come from ancient civilizations too, who can relate to some of it. But because we're in England, it's hard. But if I was in Nigeria right now, where curses are normal day things, you get me? Somebody would say, "My shepherd well," that's like, "Hey, le shepherd for me." They're like, no, you can't curse me. You know, if somebody says, bro, what if you had an accident tomorrow? Somebody say, no, you will have an accident tomorrow. Because that's a curse. It's contextual. In England, people keep saying, well, let's just say you fell under a train. We don't speak like that back home. Because that's a curse.
Really?
Yeah. You don't negatively put something on somebody.
It's done here all the time.
That's why I say you're cursing each other all day. So you wouldn't understand because it's all contextual.
normal thing.
You always say positive things on yourself.
Okay, but why did he say that I'm going to give you a curse?
Because the curse is not so much magic. The curse is the result of what you do or don't do. So the curse is imminent and evident. So if you play your cards wrong, the curse is already on you. Now, he's now telling you because he knows the results of what you've done wrong. So a child may now go and drink some poison, not knowing it's poison. The father can tell him, you're gonna die. the child would say, why am I going to die? Well, the father knows if you drink poison, you're going to die. So spiritual poison was what Cain did by killing his brother. So his father knows that, look, what you've done, when people hear it, they will want to do what to you? Talk to me. They will want to kill you too.
Can you find me the verse? Let's find the verse.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember. Go to Genesis, isn't it? Yeah. Honestly, I don't.
Hold that. Umbrella.
Okay. So
I don't know the verse.
yeah. Let me check. I don't know. I can't.
Because he specifically
Four.
said,
Try Genesis. Yeah.
and wherever you go, they're going to be able to see that curse.
Well, you gotta put it. You gotta.
That's what it says. That's what it says.
That's
what
all
it
right.
says. I'm
That's
just trying to
all right.
understand it, isn't it?
I know. Just,
I'm not claiming anything.
I know, brother.
I'm putting it out there.
You, look, you're engaging in a conversation, which is all right. What? Is my
It's
hand
freezing.
the only one frozen here?
Yeah, it is freezing.
Yeah, I think it's 4 or 5. I think Genesis 4 or 5. Yeah, Genesis 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Genesis 4.
And the Lord said, no. And Cain talked with his brother. Where is Abel my brother? And he said, am I my brother's keeper?
Yeah.
And the Lord said unto him,
So let's go here. Let's go.
okay, go on.
Let's go here.
So am I my brother's keeper? That's a dumb question. Of course you are.
No. Well, you're saying Cain was asking.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But what
yeah.
I'm saying is, I think that's a dumb question.
It isn't. Yeah, exactly. That's why.
It's a dumb question because
My
of course you
hands
have
are-
to be.
my
You
hands
have
are
to
that.
be.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, Brother Leon. What did you want me to put that up or what? Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah. So that's the reason why.
He's saying so.
Yeah. So this curse, which was gonna be evident.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be skin color.
No, I'm not
Because that.
I'm not saying that that's what it says.
Yeah. Well, you're
That's what I
hypothesizing.
interpreted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to
curse
interpret.
is, you see, in the culture, in the context of the culture, you had clans, and you had villages, and you had states, and you had places like that, which are closely knit. They're closely knit. Yeah. Say you go to Bradford right now. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody. For some reason, because they've structured their society like that. You get me? So if they hear that a man raped a woman, how safe is that man in Bradford? How safe can that man be in Bradford? In business in this country, if a man goes bankrupt, how safe is he in the financial system? Everybody knows he's bankrupt because they pick it up in 1 hour. So if he now comes to you, thanks brother, if he comes to you and say, yeah, let's get invested in some business, you'll be like, yeah.
Maybe not today.
Yeah.
Okay, but what does the text say? What does the text
so
say
that's the
exactly,
curse.
yeah? So for example, and the Lord said unto him, therefore whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken
Shall be on him
sevenfold.
Yeah.
And the Lord set
him
a
up.
mark
Yeah.
upon Cain,
Yeah.
lest any finding him should kill him.
Exactly.
And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife. So where does it say here, where he says that the mark of Cain is going to be visible?
I can't remember if
Wherever he goes, it's going to be something where everyone's going to be able
well,
to notice it.
that's the same verse 15 there, unless
Okay.
there's another one I don't remember.
It is probably.
But you see, some Bibles, the way they interpret these things, they don't have the cultural cultural context, and they're speaking English. So when they hear mark, they're thinking anything called a mark needs to be visible on you. You see what I mean? But in the context of culture where we're from, the mark is not visible.
Even
All right.
marked now, you say a marked man. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean that they've got a
you
mark on
see,
them.
that's clear example. A marked man just means like intellectually up there, everybody is looking at him like, oh, is that him? Yeah, but it's not because he looks this or that or tall or short or black or white, but everybody knows from what they heard that that guy is no good for this or for that. So that's what they're going for.
Let me see if it's going to be different in my friends. I've also got a Bible here.
Yeah.
Mark.
So look
So which
again.
verse are you on then? So you're on
Genesis 4 and 15, yeah.
So it goes down to 15, you say?
Yeah.
Will it be done with a voice from the ground? So now closer to you, which open this mouth. My punishment is greater than I can bear. Surely you have driven me.
Check 15, yeah.
No more battery.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. The mark, it says a mark in English, yeah? So you might have some Bibles who go a little bit further.
Yeah, because some of them
and
actually
call
say
it like,
curse or something.
some might even call it a sign. You see, but for us in English language, we know a mark means something you maybe draw on something in it. A sign, people see a signboard. So they always think in the English context.
Right.
But in the old ancient languages, mark don't mean only like that.
Okay, so what you're saying is that what I claimed, so to speak, is invalid.
I don't think it's valid at all. No, I don't think
Fair
it's
enough.
about skin color. No. I don't think it's not about skin color. It's number one thing, it's a spiritual thing. Curses are spiritual things. For example, right now, don't get me wrong, black people, okay, but black people are going through a curse on the earth right now. It's easy to see how we can never seem to unite. No matter who comes to unite us right now, we just cannot do it. It's amazing. Check it out. Mandela couldn't do it. Hannibal couldn't do it.
I think Malcolm X.
Malcolm X couldn't do it. Those who took Malcolm X out still can't do it. We can't do it either. It's amazing. No matter how we try, we push and push, it just won't happen. From a childhood, it used to bother me. In Africa, we have VooDoo, we have Juju. We Africans can play it on each other, but we can't seem to play it on anybody else.
Really?
Yeah. I used to wonder, like, how is it that we can do voodoo to each other? Everybody's scared every day they wake up. No, it's nothing psycho. You need to see what I see. It's nothing psychological. It's like saying, I'm going to send you a text message. Is that psychological?
No.
You're going to get it. You're going to get it.
Yeah, but you can't send a text message to this brother over here. You can't send him a text message.
Let me tell you a story.
Right, that's what you're saying.
Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. And
if you believe it, it's going to happen.
Let me tell you.
This is what's happening.
Let me tell you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? No, hang on a second. Do you understand what I'm saying, right?
Of course we do.
Okay, because I believe in the voodoo, that's why it's only happening amongst themselves.
Let me explain something to you. Write this down.
All right.
Some things you got to see.
Have you got a pen?
Some things you got to see to make you believe. Some things you got to believe to make you see.
That's deep.
All right?
Okay.
Write it down. Some things you got to see to make you believe. Some you got to believe so you can see. It works both ways. In the West, they've taught us just to see, to believe, and we're dead. That's why we're dead. But while they're telling us that, they invented the phone. But those of us of the old ancient civilizations used to tell them we could do the same thing without the phone. They said it's a lie. Because they want to sell you the phone in the future. They want to be in control and you out of control.
Okay, but how does that connect to what you said before? You said before that if there's any kind of voodoo, it's only going to happen amongst their people. So if a European comes in,
we come in there.
He's not affected by it. I'm going to go to Africa right now. I'm going to live out there.
It's all right. They're affected by it, but not directly. Because when we have problems and they come inside our societies, they're going to share in the problems.
Okay, so it does affect them though.
Of course it affects them.
No, but you said that it didn't. Only amongst yourselves.
No, hear what I'm saying. I'm saying we can't play it on them. What I'm saying is this, yeah? You can use this phone, I don't know, generally you know what I'm saying. You can use this phone in the UK because it's listening to the phone masts, yeah? But when you go to France, they may not be the same service, all right? They may be able to patch you up, all right, under certain conditions. It's still a phone, but it's not linked to the service there. but they may be able to patch you up. I'm not saying things haven't caught up, yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So phones from the United States, for example, a lot of them don't function like the European phones. All right. Try to listen to this. Yeah. They've got a different, I don't know what they call it over there. They've got a different system over there. Yeah. In Europe, they've got a different system.
So like
in
a phone
Africa,
provider, like a phone
something
provider.
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So when you come to Africans, yeah, especially in certain countries, they have a closed circuit system of voodoo, which is spiritual power. But they've got the ins and the outs of the power, whereby if they employ the precepts of that power righteously for their own selves, it will work for them. Are you following me? If they employ it unrighteously, it will work against them. Against them. When they work it righteously, it will work for them. When it works for them, nobody can stand against them. Are you following me? When it works for us, nobody can come against us. Nobody.
When you use it properly, though.
See, that's the thing. When we employ it righteously, listen to this. We're not attacking anybody. You know what's called the missile shield system that they were building in Europe. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a whole canopy that missiles can't come into that. Yeah. So the people who built the missiles, are they firing missiles at anybody? No, they're just protecting themselves. But for them to have that protection, they had to build a righteous system to protect themselves.
Okay, so
Not to attack. But we are using that righteous system to attack ourselves. Not to protect ourselves.
okay, so if you went to a witch
That's the thing.
doctor, hang on a second. If you went to, I don't know, like some kind of witch doctor, and you said, you know what, I want you to put a curse on me, for example,
Or the white man.
on a white man, exactly. Would that curse work?
No.
No.
No. Unless the white man, listen.
Okay,
Listen.
Yeah.
Unless the white man got involved in our business to the extent that makes him involved spiritually. You see what I mean? That
So
makes
he
him...
has to believe in it. That's what I
No,
was saying before.
no, believe is not the thing.
Of course, it's psychological. This is what I was
Don't
saying
force
before.
on me what you want to hear. Listen and learn the thing. Listen and learn the thing.
No, it's not. It's not that, because I already made the statement that it's a psychological thing within the tribe, within the village. If they believe in the voodoo, they're gonna really, they're gonna be affected by it. But if a white man goes into the village, he's not affected because he doesn't believe in it.
No.
This is what you're just saying right now. But if I believe in your
Don't force me to get a degree
in your
ignorance.
beliefs, if I believe in your beliefs in your village, I can be affected now.
Don't force me.
That's what I'm trying to
Hold
get to.
on. Don't force me to get a degree in ignorance.
Oh my God.
Listen
There we
to
go.
this.
Here we go.
Listen
Passive aggressiveness.
No.
There we go. Passive aggressive.
Seriously.
I'm
brother.
trying to get to the point here.
Hear the thing. Hear the thing. Hear the thing,
You're saying that I'm
brother.
ignorant.
No, not at all, but I'm just making you aware that ignorance is a disease no doctor can cure.
Maybe education.
Knowledge is power.
Okay, so maybe through knowledge you can eradicate ignorance.
True
So there
being
is-
righteous, that is.
So there is a cure then.
True being righteous.
So there's a cure then.
No, you're sad. The truth shall set you free.
We're sidetracking now. The truth will set you free. Let's hear the
But what we were trying to determine is that if I go to your village in Africa and I believe in your beliefs, I can be affected by the voodoo.
Now
But
just
if I
listen.
don't believe into the voodoo, I'm not affected by it.
Listen.
So it's a psychological thing that's happening here. That's what I'm trying to get.
Now listen. You
Go
gotta-
on,
you
go on,
gotta-
go on, uncle. Go on.
See, the problem is
Yeah.
Westerners are always trying to force their...
No, don't
Listen.
divert. Don't divert.
Listen.
Don't divert.
Can you treat me like a
Uncle
TV?
Ty. Uncle
Treat me
Ty.
like a TV.
Uncle Ty.
Oh my
Earth
God.
to Uncle Ty.
Treat me like
Come
a
back, Uncle
TV.
Ty.
Treat me like a TV. Just hear me out.
Don't divert.
Yeah, don't switch me off.
Don't divert. Stick
Just
to the
hear me
topic.
out.
Okay, go
Just
on.
hear me out.
Okay, but it better come to the topic though. Can I be
we-
affected by your voodoo if I go to your village?
I did say you can, but you can.
If I believe in it.
Not believe. It's not about belief. Because listen. Oh, well, if you know the whole thing, why are we talking?
Come on.
Why are we talking if you already know?
Go on then.
Why are we talking if
Go
you
on,
already
Uncle.
know it?
No problem, Uncle. Go on.
Speak. Look, belief and unbelief can harm you. But there's also something called ignorance. You not factor in ignorance. A child doesn't need to believe that a car can kill him. Does he need to believe to get hit by a car?
Well, he can see it in front of him.
No, he can't.
No, he has probably
What
seen
do
a car
children-
accident.
Listen,
You know?
what do children know about a car killing people?
Absolutely nothing. Because
No, they don't know nothing. Stop. Let's not waste time. They know what a car is, but they don't know the extent of what it means to be hit by a car. Even some of us still don't. At this age, I've seen legs and arms and heads in different places on the road every week.
That must be bomb, yes.
It happens every week. It becomes normal. You understand? But it's not about belief. It's about knowledge of something first. Because you can come in and not see anything. You know, you're walking around, there's games going on, spiritual games, but you can see it, but it's none of your business. You don't get involved in it. The same way a stranger comes to your country, they can see the games, but they're not involved in it. Once they start getting involved in it, it's not about belief. Like you said, it's about knowledge.
Get to the point, yes.
It's about knowledge.
That's the cure to ignorance.
Hold on. It's about knowledge for them to get involved in it. You get me? It's like law. In this country, a tourist visits, you don't get in trouble if you don't do the wrong thing. If you start getting involved in the wrong thing, you can get in trouble. Believe it or not, you can get in trouble. Even if you think you're from Saudi Arabia, but you can't get in trouble because it's not your country. When you really get involved in it and you touch a woman the wrong way, you will get in trouble. Believe it or not. It doesn't matter. You understand? Yeah, even if she's a woman from Saudi Arabia. You get what I'm saying? Just because you're used to it over there, you don't believe it's wrong here, it won't save you. So belief is one thing, the knowledge is another thing. If you get involved in the culture to an extent where spirit is meeting spirit, like example, you come into a house in the culture in Africa, yeah? You get involved with a married woman, and you know she's married, and you still go and touch her,
They will touch you, yes.
then you're putting yourself in harm's way. You understand? You don't even need to believe or disbelieve. But if you think I'm wrong, go and try it.
Hang on a second.
That's what I'm saying.
Brother, why you bring the subject that
Hang on.
Saudi touch a woman
Hang on.
and touch an African woman? Why is that?
It's not divergent. Listen.
Yeah.
This is a physical action that you're talking about. What we're talking about is something spiritual, something that you cannot see.
What do you mean?
Voodoo is something that you cannot see.
Of course you can see voodoo.
You can't see
I
the
would have
actual
been lying to
bird. You can see the actions, you understand? You can see the bones being rolled, you can see the dice, you understand? Okay? That's the action. I was raised in Africa, brother. Now listen to me, right? Now when you can see that action, when the curse happens, you don't see the curse anymore.
Brother,
You never
don't-
see it. You never see it, in fact, right? This is what we're talking about here.
Don't
I'm not
force
talking
me to
about...
accept. Ask me.
Can you see
give
the
me-
curse?
And give me your view, but don't force me to accept.
I'm not forcing you to do anything.
No, I'm saying when you talk like that, it looks like you want me to agree with you.
No, I'm trying to determine, listen to me, yeah? Can you see a curse?
Of course you can see a curse.
No, you can see the effects of the curse.
You can see a curse.
Okay, explain, Uncle.
If you look, do you know everything?
No.
Talk to me.
No,
There you go.
no. I know
When
nothing.
you don't know everything,
I know
you
nothing.
always got to have an open mind. You're telling me the things you know. I'm hearing you talk about the things you don't know.
No, but initially...
You're talking about the things, I'm listening to the things you don't know.
Uncle Ty,
That's
listen to me.
that's what's
Uncle
going
Ty,
on here.
Wait. The first thing that you said is that if I go to your village in Africa and I don't believe in your belief systems, I'm not affected by the voodoo.
I didn't put it like that. I didn't put it like
you did.
the belief. No. I'm saying
course you
based on what you said when you say it's
Big
about
up the
belief.
Obeah crew.
You're saying it's about belief.
I
I'm
am
saying
proud I'm a
I'm saying it's
Caribbean.
not just
It's
about belief alone for voodoo to happen to somebody. yes, you can be protected if you don't believe in it.
How can voodoo be a good thing?
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
It can't be good. It cannot be good because good is good, bad is bad.
There's good and bad in
Good
voodoo,
is
in
good.
Obia.
Sin
But the
is
white
sin.
man call it witchcraft. Witchcraft, I don't know about that. I don't know about Obia.
Hang on a second. You're saying that voodoo is a good thing?
Yes, there's good and bad in it.
There is no good in it.
Why not? Do you work it? Do you know about it?
I've seen the effects.
On who?
I've seen the effects on people.
You see the curse.
Maybe it's
I've seen the
acid. You might be
effects
talking about acid.
of the curse.
Yes. See the curse.
Yet I have not seen the curse.
You see the effect.
I can see the effects.
That's when you can see the curse.
No, you can see the effects that the curse has done to the person. Do you
If you can see
understand?
the effects, you can see the curse.
Okay, but you don't literally see that curse happening.
But you
isn't
can
it?
see the effect.
You can see the effects.
I can see
I never
both.
denied that. I never denied that. What I'm trying to establish, right, is voodoo a good thing?
It's bad thing.
It's always a bad thing. It can never be. It's never good. It's never good.
It's good and bad if you believe in it.
No. Calm. But what is good, what is bad? You see? Listen, what's good is good and what's bad is bad. There's no such thing as a bad good thing.
Because the practice voodoo, and they give you
Voodoo
something.
is always bad.
Look, brother, listen. You don't know what you're talking. Okay, brother, what's your name again, brother?
You call me Raul.
Raul, brother Raul.
Listen to me.
Go
Yeah?
on. Yeah, go on.
Can you show me one instance where voodoo is good? Or it was utilized, sister? Can you show me one instance where
You will be
as
Or
no,
turns
no,
a
no.
monkey, yes.
No,
Or donkey.
Can you show me one instance when the voodoo is used that it was a good thing and something
The
good came out
witches
of it?
used to work.
Hold on, sis.
Sorry,
Hold on, sis.
brother.
Can
Hold
you
on,
please
sis.
do voodoo on him and make him disappear?
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful. Do you understand? Be careful what you do.
Brother
Be careful
Raul,
with voodoo, brother.
before you go on with
go
the
on.
question, I have to stop you quickly and say to you, look,
Okay, but don't forget my question.
I didn't forget.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to say to you, like I always say, when you ask the wrong question,
There's no such thing as a wrong question.
listen, brother.
No, I have to stop you there. How can you say when you can't say that there's a wrong question? It's a question.
Give me a chance
Right or
to speak.
wrong?
Give me a
Tell
chance
me,
to speak.
can you explain to me one
Brother
instance?
Raul, give me a chance to speak.
Get to the point, stop diverting, Uncle Ty. Okay, go on, talk.
Brother Raul,
Go on.
do you really know what voodoo is?
Well, it's, you know,
Hold
it's
on,
witchcraft.
bruv. Do you
Tell
really
me.
know? No, that's why I said when you ask the wrong question,
No.
then look.
Of course you're going to tell me. Of course you're going to tell me. You're going to show me your knowledge. What is voodoo?
Look,
It's not good. Is it
Now
good?
listen, brother, give me a chance, brother Raul.
Is it?
It's a culture, it's a way of life.
Okay.
It's got nothing to do with witchcraft or anything.
Is it not connected?
It's got nothing to do with witchcraft. It's a way of life.
Don't
and
even what
spirituality.
the thing you're saying. Don't even you're helping him too much to go down the same line again. Witchcraft, you've added one more thing to his ammunition. Listen,
Okay, go on.
don't forgive me for trying to say that, but I just want, because you see, when we speak the English language all the time, we've allowed it to be the defining language for everything non-English. We're allowing the people who don't
Fair
know
enough.
about the thing
Fair enough.
to tell us to give names to the thing we do, and then suddenly we now need to use their language to interpret something which they don't understand. We can't deal with that in this kind of explanation. We need to keep it, we need to keep it real. It's like asking, let me see, John Lennon to tell us what reggae music is.
We are going for a long trip. This is
No,
going to
I'm
be a
being-
long
this-
drive. Are we there yet?
This is what we do in the ancient.
Are we there
Nah,
yet?
it's something you not understand.
There we go.
Because you're not from there, so you not understand.
Just tell me. Can you show me,
explains
Uncle
to you,
Ty?
you don't
Uncle
understand.
Ty.
I can't
No,
answer
with
that
due
question.
respect,
Like,
yeah?
I'm
Hang
hearing
on
you,
a
Raul.
second.
I'm hearing
trying-
you. I'm hearing
Can
you.
you give me one example, a story or something that you know? I don't know.
That's not the problem here.
Tell me one
Yeah.
example where someone used voodoo and it was a good thing. Something good came out of it.
That's a million.
Okay, right now I'm
Just
using.
tell me one.
You're not listening.
Go on.
Right now I'm using voodoo on you, and something alright coming out of it.
Are you a witch doctor? Is that what you're saying? Are you claiming to be a witch doctor?
You've changed the name now. You've changed the name now.
Okay,
You've
fine.
changed the name to witch doctor now. We're talking voodoo. You said give me an
I thought
example.
they were together. I thought they're like the same thing.
That's why you need to listen.
Okay,
You
go on.
thought they were together. That's why you've
Okay.
been thinking wrong all
So
the
where's
time.
the separation then?
can we do one thing at one time?
Okay, tell me what voodoo is.
You want fast food right now, innit? We want to do it slowly, one by one. Look, I spent 20...
Listen, my hand is freezing, yeah? I ain't got all day.
Like they say, don't step in the ring. If you ain't ready
I'm
to-
not
if you
running.
ain't ready
I'm not
to- yeah.
running. I'm right here.
I'm
right
freezing
here.
too. I'm freezing too.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm freezing.
Explain to me what voodoo is, and I won't interrupt you. Go.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Like the brother was trying to explain to you, voodoo is a system, a spiritual and a physical system, employed for positive and what you would call negative effects. Yeah, listen, positive and negative effects depending on circumstance. It's just a rough definition. All right.
Negative effect
Yeah.
is due to
Now listen.
It can be good or bad.
Listen, you will get your answer, but you got to listen. You can't. I don't know where we're gonna stop this one. You know, you asking me questions. I haven't asked you nothing.
No, I don't know
Because
anything.
when I start
I said I
asking
know
you,
nothing.
you'll be the same.
No,
You'll
hang
be
on a
telling me.
second.
No, you'll be the same. You know. Now listen.
Okay, go
Yeah. Now, what's called voodoo in some countries is called a different thing in some countries, but you will see some of the same kind of practices involved. All right. So, for example, this brother, you come from the airway, okay? What they call voodoo over there in Nigeria or some other countries is called juju.
Okay.
In some countries, it's called Ifa.
Okay.
In some countries, it's called the Bible. In some countries, listen, you're not listening. Just, in some countries, it's,
to be interrupted. He hates it.
in some countries, it's called witchcraft. It depends who's looking at it.
Which aircraft?
In some
hang on a
countries,
second. So
listen,
sometimes it can be a connection depending on the place.
listen. In some countries, it's called black magic.
So I'm right.
You're not right about nothing. What
I
are you
just
right
said that
about?
voodoo and witchcraft can be connected, but you're saying depending on certain.
No, that was not my answer. That was not my answer. You're asking me. You're asking me
Yes, exactly.
if voodoo is not always a bad thing. That's what you were asking me. The connection, yes, everybody knows the connection can be there. But you're saying it's always a bad thing, as you were saying to that sister, that voodoo is always a bad thing.
Yes.
But voodoo is not always a bad thing. Listen, if voodoo, you come into a man's wife, and this is a normal thing. You come into a man's wife,
And if you're Saudi, yes.
the husband has done some voodoo on her. So no man is allowed to sleep with her. All right? You don't have to sleep with her. But if you come and you go against that voodoo and sleep with her and start barking around like a dog,
Yes.
that's not a bad thing.
Why
You
not?
Why should you sleep with another man's wife?
What happened to her? What happened to her? The
Listen,
husband has
hold
put a
on.
curse on her. That's
Just-
not good.
Just listen.
That's not good.
Hold on, listen.
And then the guy goes there.
Are you doing this for fun?
No, I'm not doing
Are
it
you
for
doing this
fun.
for fun?
I'm trying to dissect. I'm trying to dissect what you're saying.
Look,
Yeah.
in this country, if you commit an act that was deemed by law to be illegal, yeah, you don't get voodoo to deal with you. You get the police to deal with you. But we save you money. We save you money.
And time.
We save the system money and time. We take the law into our own hands.
£36,000 a year, yes.
You see what I mean? We take the law into our own hands. So it serves as an immediate deterrent to a next man.
So you believe
Yeah.
an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
It's not about an eye for an eye. It's just don't do it. We don't want your eye. We want you to leave our wives alone.
That's one example.
What are we going to do with your
No,
eye?
hang on. Leave that example alone. Leave that example alone. Okay. Now look.
So voodoo, now listen, voodoo can be used for that, deterrent. Voodoo can also be used to get back what was stolen. So you come to a place, somebody's stolen something, they don't know who's done it, they say they're going to do some voodoo to find out.
Okay.
They narrow down the list of suspects to 3 people. And they roll out the stones. They roll out the bones. They put in the hair. They put in your saliva. They close the door. They call in the light. They roll some pepper and some salt.
And they dance around
Whatever.
fire. They dance
By the
around
time they reach stage 5, you better start running. By the time they start tying each person's name to a doll and putting the doll on the ground and bringing a hammer to nail each of them on the head, you better start running.
Okay, so it's a bad thing then, isn't it?
No, it's a great thing.
But what if you don't believe in it? What if you live in a...
No, it's not about belief in this case, brother.
Right? I mean, like,
Brother.
I'll give you an example.
That's what I was trying to
Okay.
establish already.
In Western society,
Yeah.
they just think what you're just talking is just a lot of butter. They don't
Exactly,
believe
because
in
they
it,
don't believe in it, so
doesn't
they're not
hold.
affected.
Am I Western society? Am I Western
No,
society?
he's talking about it.
That governance, where you're trying to promote people to govern themselves by having this fear.
Where is the governance going to happen? No!
You're talking about just Africa. You're just talking
We're
about
talking about wherever you find their system. Nobody brings their system on another people.
But what's the point of having this conversation when we live here? You live here.
No,
No,
we're
he
talking
wants-
about
he wants to
Africa.
know.
We're talking about the mark of Cain.
He
we're talking
wants to
about
know.
all of this stuff, and it's kind of diverted into.
We're not
voodoo
saying
and
we want to
witchcraft.
bring voodoo to
No,
any
no,
country.
no. We're just talking
He
about
was just
Africa.
asking.
Can we do
Exactly.
voodoo on him? Never do on him.
Okay, for example, you said that for you to protect your wife, you're going to put a voodoo on her.
I didn't say I'm going to. I'm saying as an example. Because you're
Can you let me finish?
Go on.
Well, in his case, not a voodoo. It's like a gun. You got a gun.
Listen to me, yeah?
Shoot the ass.
Go on. Yeah.
Listen to me. I'm using the same strategy as you.
Yeah, I know.
I've been watching you
I
for
know.
a long time.
It's painful, yeah.
Can
I know. It's painful, yeah.
Can you let me finish?
I know.
Patience. Hang on, yeah? If you put a voodoo on your wife to protect her, what good? There's no good in that, is there?
What do you mean there's no good?
What kind of voodoo would be used?
Look, if
To give you an example, Uncle
I
Ty,
know.
I'm not using like a literal thing that's happened. Okay, but if you're going to protect your wife from being fornicated by some
or
next
from
man,
being raped.
or from being raped.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
being
What is
assaulted,
that
yeah.
voodoo? What is that voodoo that you're talking about? Because you said it. You said that you're going to put the actual curse on her. Well, I wouldn't say it's a curse, but you would put the actual voodoo on her.
It can be a protective power,
It can be a protective
yeah,
power,
a deterring power
deterring power.
to be on that
Okay.
person. Yeah, to be on that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of an attack alarm. What's them things they give women to?
Yeah, so like a taser.
To blow the whistle when they're gonna get raped.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, stuff like that. But all these things, they got from old things. They got them from ancient systems. But they can't apply them here for at least two reasons. One is they don't want the people in the West to wake up to know that they also have such powers.
Right. Okay, because it's very dangerous, isn't it?
It's not dangerous.
Well,
Otherwise,
it's
why are
dangerous.
they?
Who's using it? It depends who's using it. Then,
It's,
isn't it?
nothing is dangerous if it's used righteously.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Power is
If the wrong-
everlasting.
If the wrong person is, if you have the wrong person using it, it can be very, very dangerous.
Show me one power that the wrong person hasn't used yet. Show me any one power. The atomic fission. They've used it for all the wrong things. They only use it for the wrong things. The microwave machine, they only use it for the wrong things. The mobile phone, we're only using it for the wrong things. The aeroplane, they're only really using it for the wrong things. You can go on and on and on. Money, they're using it for the wrong things. Everything is being used for the wrong things. Not only voodoo.
Whenever man, listen
That's
to me,
it. So
when
don't,
man creates
so
anything,
don't blame ancient cultures for looking whatever you think. It's not about that. The ancient cultures are looking at the Western cultures and saying, well, is this the alternative? Is this the alternative?
Can I ask a question? You
Yeah.
see, like Europe, they took over everything, like from Africa and everything like that. But how do they not get a hold of what you call voodoo? How do they not get a hold of
How
that?
did they
They
not
got
learn
everything
it?
else. They
How
got
did
the
they
gold,
not
they
study
got-
it?
Sorry,
Realize.
what do you mean exactly? Like when you say I did not get hold of it.
Like,
How-
yeah, how do they stole everything, right?
They do.
And you think they use it now?
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
okay, that's what I
What
was
they
trying to
did was what.
You don't read about them things that's happening.
Oh,
in
no,
Hampstead.
I just wanted to see if
You
it's
don't
the
see
same
what's going on in the
thing.
mad lodges that you guys are keeping up with.
I know all the Masons, but I don't want to see if it's the same thing or if it's a different
It's
sort.
a similar kind of thing.
Have you heard about the Bohemian Square?
Yeah, the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah,
all that.
Bohemian
Of course I
Grove
know
and
this
that.
stuff. But I think it's a different system. That's satanic for me. But you're saying voodoo can be it can have a pro and con to it. Like, for example, if you use it to cure someone, and then if you use it to put a curse on someone to accept your wife.
If you use it for sort of like for what you know, it's hard to speak English like what it is. If you use it for unrighteousness, that's what it really is about. It's supposed to not be used for unrighteousness, yeah? It's supposed to be used for righteousness. For example, if you're somebody you call a witch, somebody that you may call a witch, yeah?
She practices voodoo.
Let's just say witchery, because, you know, we're in the Western world, yeah? Say somebody you call a witch goes and saves a child who's drowning in the water with her powers. Would you say it's a bad thing? No. Say she was at home, she's a witch, but she's at home sipping a cup of tea, and she gets the message that a child is drowning on an ice lake, and she flies out on a broom and saves the child and brings the child back to in front of the house and goes back to drinking a cup of tea. And they asked the child, who saved you? He said, Mama, you won't believe it. It's the witch next door. What are you going to say? Did the witch do a bad thing? No. Is witchery a bad thing? But if the witch goes out to kidnap a child to do something with the child,
That's fine.
that's where the problem is. You see what I mean? It's about application. Power is applicable. Where we come from is called the right-hand power and the left-hand power. In the so-called West and the Masonic powers, they say the left-hand path and the right-hand path. The left eye and the right eye. There's always the two balances. In the ancient East, it's called the yin and the yang.
You can choose to contact the bad spirit or contact the good spirit. Do you know what I mean?
Is that in the Bible?
I don't believe in that though. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
you
I
can
don't believe
contact
in
the bad
that.
spirit
How
and
can
the
you
good
contact
spirit.
the good spirit?
What do you mean, how can you contact
This
good
brother
spirit?
is winding up, isn't it? Raul is winding up. Raul is
How
doing a
can there
wind
be a
up.
good spirit? I've never heard of a good spirit come to anybody.
All right.
Okay,
Okay,
it's like a
sometimes,
poltergeist.
all right,
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you want to do something.
Feels like something
No,
that
no,
can
listen,
terrify
sometimes
you.
you want to do something. Sometimes you want to do something bad, yeah?
I'm
And there's
wait-
something telling you, don't do that. Yeah? Something else is telling you, do it. Yeah?
No, that's your spirit, brother. That's your spirit that's telling you that's
Brother,
wrong.
How do you know that's good?
Ask Raul questions. Don't answer anymore.
Raul.
What do you do with a gun? What do you do with a gun?
Hang on.
What do you do with a gun,
I'm
Raul?
just trying to say.
No, Raul.
I'm
Hold
just
on,
trying to
Raul.
say,
Raul, hold
is
on.
there a good spirit? Hang on.
What do you do with a gun?
Spirits to
Raul,
me, to me,
Raul.
a spirit is always
He's looking
bad.
serious.
No, but you have a spirit, right?
Oh, my
But
spirit,
you've got a
not
spirit
the
as well,
spirit.
so how
How do you know your spirit is
a
right?
spirit that is free. You understand? If I'm going to invoke a spirit, it's not for good reasons, or he may say he's going to come for good reasons, but it's never for good reasons.
But what is a spirit? What is a spirit? Don't let them get away with halfway exams. First start.
I'm
what
not
is
saying.
First start with definitions.
I'm not saying
Hold
that
on,
I don't
hold
have
on.
a spirit. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is,
I gotta go
when the
look
witch.
for some people. What is a spirit, Raul?
Oh, you're running away.
No.
This is this is good. This is fantastic.
Ty's
Well done.
always
Well done,
running.
Uncle Ty. He's
Ty's
running
always
away.
Alright,
Let me
wrap
just
up.
quickly
I gotta
conclude.
get to a train station. Yeah.
Give me
Ty,
20
go wrap up.
seconds.
Yeah, go on.
Do a wrap up before you leave.
Yeah, go
I
on.
believe, okay, now I don't know if this is right or wrong, but it's just a belief I have, you understand? I don't think that when you're going to invoke a spirit in whatever circumstance, that spirit is a good spirit.
That's all right. Fair enough. We don't need to disagree with that because, like you said, you don't.
Do you understand?
believe-
There's no such thing as that. They
No,
may
now
tell
you-
you,
now
they
you're
may tell
making
you.
it. Now you're making it into a fact. You said you don't believe, and then you said there's not such thing like that.
Can you show me when?
Now-
Can you show me once when it has actually, seen it?
One of what? One
A
of
spirit
the-
being. No, hang on.
Yeah,
A spirit being good.
Yeah, I can show you. Where from?
No, I want you to tell me a story
Yeah,
about
you
it.
can
then.
look in the Bible. You see one.
Yeah, that's an angel, brother.
An angel is a spirit. That's why I said define a spirit first.
An angel is not a physical.
That's why I said
being, is it?
this. Didn't I say that? That's why I said define what a spirit is.
Angel is an angel, brother.
But
An
is it
angel is a
physical?
spirit.
well,
Hold on, listen,
Okay,
listen,
fair
listen.
point. He has a fair point.
No, the game is over. Not fair point. The game is over. Listen to this.
No,
When
no,
the
that's a fair
police-
point. That's a fair point that you're saying. What
No,
is the
Ra-
spirit? What is the spirit?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Fair point.
That's
Fair
the whole
point.
point,
What I'm
Raoul.
referring to is, like a poltergeist.
That's Western mindset again.
Do you understand? Do you
Western
understand what I'm saying?
mindset,
That's a
brother
spirit to
Raoul.
me. That's an evil spirit to
That's
me.
movies.
That's the
What
movie.
do you mean it's movies?
That's the movie.
How can you believe in voodooism and stuff like that and not believe that there's bad spirits then?
I don't believe in voodoo.
I'm not saying that you do, but I'm saying, how can you actually accept that as a practice? How can you accept that as a practice and not acknowledge that a spirit is bad?
It predates all religions.
Ask brother Raoul.
VooDoo predates.
Ask brother Raoul.
It's a prophecy of Jesus.
Ask brother Raoul. Ask him what does he believe in those terms? In which kind of things do you believe in there? You believe in the Bible?
I believe in the. I read the Bible.
Have you heard that the angels of the Most High are actually ministering spirits?
Have I heard that the angels?
That the angels are also ministering spirits. They are ministering spirits.
I haven't read that. Okay. But it's an interesting fact to know. It's an interesting
No, it's
information.
a reality. Don't forget the people we called Lucifer was a spirit too, but he chose to become a negative spirit. Yeah, that's all it is.
So do you say that angels got free will?
The angels who are now fallen, they have their free will.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do angels have free will then?
Which ones? No,
I'm saying angels. I'm just saying angels of God.
Angel simply means messenger.
Wait.
I don't know which ones
wait
you're
for me,
talking
wait for
about.
me.
Yeah, but talk to me properly.
Pause. Hang on a second. I'm saying, do angels?
Which ones?
Angels of God, man.
I don't know which ones you're talking. What does angel
Are
mean?
there more than one kind of angel?
Absolutely.
Where do they come from?
First, you need to talk to me first. I don't know what you want. Look,
I'm talking
you
about
think
God's
I'm just gonna
angels.
join you?
Hang on a second. I'm talking about God's angels.
Which
okay?
God?
Yahweh.
Oh, then so the question about
do these angels have free will?
absolutely. Yahweh, if it's Yahweh, right?
Yes,
yeah, they
my
have
God,
free
my
will.
God,
yeah.
Yahweh.
Yeah.
Do his angels have free will?
Absolutely.
Can they choose not to be with
Brother,
God? If they wanted to and
Brother,
say, look, you know what, I'm going to go with Lucifer right now.
Brother, I just said yes. Yeah.
If they don't
Yeah.
have free
The
will, then they're
angels,
robust.
the
That's what I was
angels.
asking.
Now
That's what I was
listen.
asking. You see, you answered my question.
Now listen. The angels of our Creator, whose name is not Yahweh.
Okay,
Now,
that's your business. That's your business.
now listen to me. That's why I'm answering you. Don't forget, when you ask me a question, you're
I'm
not
gonna shut up
asking.
now. I'm
You're
gonna
not
shut up
asking
now.
the people you're used to a
go
question.
rapper.
You understand? The Creator, whose name is Iye.
Tomato. Tomato.
No. We're not dealing with that.
Tomato,
Because look,
tomato, my brother.
talk to me, brother.
You are Israelite?
Now look, just
Good.
talk to me.
I put you on there.
Talk to me.
Okay, because we established already the first human being was black.
Talk
We've
to
already
that's-
established that together.
It's not about that right
Yeah?
now.
We've already established that.
Talk to me,
Thank
brother
you.
Rahul.
Yeah.
Talk to me, brother
Yes,
Rahul.
yes.
Is it not true
Yes.
that Satan took a third of the angels in heaven with him?
I don't know. Okay, yes. For argument's sake,
It's not argument,
yes.
say it's in your book. You
Okay,
say you
fine.
believe in the Bible, innit?
Yeah, but I'm not going to just read something and completely believe in it.
You don't need to believe.
The only thing
Stevie
I
Wonder
believe- the
don't
only
need
thing
to
I believe
believe
is
we're
Jesus
here.
Who's God? That's
Stevie
what I
Wonder
believe.
don't need to
That's
believe
what I know.
anything.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Now everything else have the angels what?
But it is written in the Bible, though. It is in the Bible.
Okay, fine.
It's
So
in
if
the
you
book.
say that, if you say that, that's fair enough. I believe you.
Yeah,
I
because
believe you. I don't believe that, but I believe you.
because you won't be able to understand everything else you're asking questions about if you don't actually
So you're
deal
saying
with
that
that
you took a
text
third
first.
with them. Wow, so they chose to go and not be with the Creator.
Yeah,
And they came to Earth?
yeah. And there's data to back it up. There's data to back it up. Yeah, there's data to back it up. Look how they came down today. They were here before they left. Before they left, you can see with your own eyes. You can see it. Yeah.
Within man?
Look, they came down on the face of the earth, yeah? They married into humanity, yeah?
Okay, so sin
And they
came
became,
into earth.
listen, and they became violent walkers on the face of the earth, all right? And the Most High looked at it and he said, because of the violence on the face of the earth, I'm going to destroy every living thing. But I'm going to save the ones who want to be saved. Then he restarted the whole thing
Oh, we're going to
again.
get into another conversation.
Oh,
now.
well, look,
Okay,
shalom to
you are
everyone.
making. Shalom, my brother. Shalom.
So if I didn't have a train to catch, I would stay a little bit
Okay,
longer.
the next time, we shall discuss. Okay, so next time I come to the park, we shall discuss what is.
How are you, sir?
Come back for the time.
Yeah.
Okay, the next time that me and you are going to speak together, we're going to talk about what is
Brother
death.
Dan, are you still-
Is there afterlife? Is there an afterlife?
Yeah, okay.
You understand? So what is the final punishment? Next time.
I think Brother Rahul is a journalist, isn't it? He's a learned journalist.
See you later, Uncle Ty.
Bless, brother. Bless. I didn't manage to see.
Yo, Uncle.
Content.
Can't take over everything. From your melanin. Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to Hyde.
EDL.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, we agree with that.
Music, it's music. You have an iPhone? You have iPhone?
Yeah.
You can scan it. You go to the YouTube link directly. It's a music from Japan.
It's a music from Japan?
Yeah.
Are you getting paid by them also?
No, I like them. That's why I'm promoting them.
So Tan, are you with Tommy today? Or
No.
independent?
Independent.
Oh, that's good.
I've always been independent, just a tourist.